Okay, welcome to the Lunar New Year 2024. Haji Sunan says, dragons, one of the things to know about dragons, sometimes the things which seem impossible become possible. So afterwards we can have questions. But for now, to all of you who are new, welcome to our All Sangha service with our families, with our parents, with our caretakers, with all of you other lovely, wonderful people who are here today. One point to know is if you just came to the service to meditate today and to follow along, you will actually have a chance to do that, because at a certain point after our story and after our directions, all of us kind of crazy folks in the family program are going to depart to break up into various age groups. Parents are going to go with Mosam Sam, so then you'll be able to have some time for a short regular service. Okay, so my name is Hayun. I'm a Dharma teacher here. And I think that what we need to start with, because we've had a rollicking introduction, is a little diamond hot chong. Does anyone here, do you remember diamond hot chong? We learned it last year. So let's put our hands like this. Go, get it out. Okay, now put your hands in regular hot chong with sincere heart. And we're going to close our eyes and do 3 really deep breaths. And I want you to breathe in and hold your breath as long as you can. Okay? Now we slow down from our exciting dragon entrance. And I'd like to ask those of you here, I know a lot of you are very proficient at prostrations. So we're going to do 3 mindful prostrations. What that means, if you're sitting in a cushion or on the benches, you can either stand up and do 3 prostrations, full prostrations with us, or you can simply make a bow. And when you make a bow, try to open your hands to the whole world and what the universe holds for us this year of the dragon, okay? So those of us who can do full prostrations, let's do it. Stand up here, and you guys here, help me show everyone how. Okay, we're going to do 3 prostrations. We start. Wow. Good. Raise our hands up high, but still in hot chong. Come down on our knees. Stay in hot chong. Beautiful. All right, now we bring our foreheads to the floor. And put our hands up facing the sky. Now we come up. Same thing again. Hands up. Okay, one more. Hands up. And this time, come down. Forehead touching the ground, palms up, and go up to a kneeling position. Look again at the Buddha. And back. Come up. And back. Good job, everyone. All right, so now I'd like everyone to sit for 5 minutes. Okay? I know we've had a lot of activity, but I know you can do it. And I will ring the bell to signify the beginning and the end of our meditation. See how quiet we can be. If you need to, take some more deep breaths like we did before. Nice and hot tongue, everyone. When you hear the end of the bell, put your hands down in your meditation mudra in your lap. Right, hands in hot tongue. Make a bow. Good job, everyone. Now we have to stand up one more time. And we're going to say the 3 refuges together. You're not going to be able to play football later. All right, so follow after me. Remember, this is Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And Sangha is where we're at right now. Okay? Buddha, the awakened one. The awakened heart in us all. And the living force of peace. May I take refuge in the Buddha.
May I take refuge in the Buddha.
Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha.
Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha.
Moral discipline and wisdom.
Moral discipline and wisdom.
May I take refuge in the Dharma.
May I take refuge in the Dharma.
Sangha,
Sangha,
the happy and joyous community of all living beings.
the happy and joyous community of all living beings.
And our Ann Arbor Sangha.
And our Ann Arbor Sangha.
May I take refuge in the Sangha.
May I take refuge in the Sangha.
Hi. Everyone can sit down and make yourself comfortable. Who wants to hear a dragon story? Me. Let's do it. So here's the part that you know about our dragons, okay? Number 1, dragons are also called in the ancient scripture Naga. Can you say Naga? All right.
I thought Naga was a different thing.
Well, it can be. It can be. It can be a snake or a dragon. It can be a snake or a dragon. All right. So that's one thing to know about dragons. Number two is that dragons are really nice. They're not mean, nasty things that we. You know that good. Okay. So they're nice. However, important point to note: not only can they incinerate you, but also one little bit of smoke coming from their nostril can kill you. So they're pretty powerful. Yeah. All right. The other thing to know about dragons is that they're shapeshifters. They have a sign. I never remember.
I don't know that you're not a dragon.
Well, you don't know because I'm a shapeshifter. Okay, is this working? Yeah. Good. All right. Okay, so they're shapeshifters. So I could be a dragon right now. You're right. Any of us could be a dragon. Or if you saw a dog on the way here, that could have been a dragon too. Hold on to the questions till the end, Chuck. All right, so our dragon that we're going to focus on today is a dragon that it's on the Compea Jadica, for those who actually are paying attention to those kinds of things. And it is one of the former lives of the Buddha. And one of the former lives of the Buddha was as a dragon. And so his name at that time was Elvis. Elvis the dragon, okay? Now, the other thing about the dragons, he was the king of the dragons, of course. He's the king. But they live in a cloud kingdom because, of course, they're celestial beings. They're not like usually around us. They're celestial beings. They live in a cloud kingdom, all right? So Elvis is the king. And Elvis had a 30-foot wingspan. He had scales that were the size of this. The dragons are green, but he was kind of iridescent, beautiful. He had a pompadour. His lip kind of went like that. Elvis. All right, so there's Elvis. And the other thing you know about dragons is they had a good time all the time. They liked to sing, they liked to dance. It was a good time. But Elvis, kind of having an inclination that he had a bigger path in front of him in another lifetime, also liked what we called Uposatha days. Can you say that? Uposatha day. Uposatha day is what we would now kind of call like a cleansing retreat. All right? So a meditation retreat, a chanting retreat. For those in the middle of the room here, Peace Camp is your Uposatha day. For a lot of us, there are Uposatha days who are in the form of retreats, meditation classes here at the temple. That's sort of a more modern word. Uposatha is an ancient word. But so he loved his Uposatha days because he really, as much as he loved being in the kingdom of dancing and singing and having fun, he also liked to have time to himself to really study scripture, to meditate, to really follow the precepts. They always followed the precepts, but he wanted to really dedicate himself in silence. So he did that. All right, but a lot of his time was spent singing and dancing. And so one day they had a big party on the Cloud Kingdom, and people came from other kingdoms. Like there were people here from the New York Cloud Kingdom, and there were people here from the Toronto Cloud Kingdom and Mexico City, Chicago. They all came to this Cloud Kingdom. And, well, the one over Michigan, the Cloud Kingdom that lives over us and lives right over Ann Arbor. So the thing is, there was so many dragons there. It was the biggest party ever. They were shooting flames up into the sky. They were flying around, and they were doing so much singing. And what do you think Elvis would sing? Lord Almighty, I feel my temperature rising. Higher and higher, it's burning through to my soul. Girl, 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 you gonna set me on fire. My brain's flaming. I don't know which way to go. All right, the kisses take me higher, like a sweet song of a choir. You light my morning sky with burning love. Burning love. Burning love. All right, he was into it. Oh my God, he looked around across the room when he sang that song, and do you know what he saw? The most beautiful dragon he'd ever seen in his life. Oh, she just was radiant. She was glowing. She was just amazing. He just like was riveted. It was love at first sight. So across the room, as part of the New York Dragon contingent, was another dragon by the name of Beyonce. No, Jay-Z was not in the picture. So you have to like over this. Beyonce looked at Elvis and was like, oh my gosh. So they spent the night talking. They just really connected. That whole next week, they really connected. And it was very deep because Beyonce also liked Upasapades. She was also a very deep dragon and wanted more than just the singing and the partying. And so, but, you know, she was from New York, so she was careful with herself. And she really didn't want to be taken advantage of by anyone. So, the next big party before the New York contingent left, Beyonce sang a song. This is something you all might know a little bit. Everyone put your hands up. All right. Da, 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 da. All the single ladies, 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 put your hands up. Da, 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 please sing. If you want it, then you better put a ring on it. If you want it, then you better put a ring on it. If you want it, then you better put a ring on it. Don't treat me with the things of the world. I'm not that kind of girl. Your love is what I prefer, but I deserve to have a man who will take me to destiny, to infinity and beyond. All the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies. Da, 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 da. If you want it, then you better put a ring on it. If you want it, then you better put a ring on it. If you want it, then you better put a ring on it. Da, da, da. Well, Elvis was smitten. This was amazing. So he flew across the room, skidded across the floor on his knees, and said, "But Beyonce, I would love, would you venture to be my queen bee? I would love you to be my queen bee. And we can live in happiness here. We can do some softer days. We can live our lives in happiness and peace together and harmony." And she said, "Why, Elvis, I never thought you'd ask." Oh, they planned the biggest wedding in the world. You know, not only every dragon from every celestial kingdom came, but you also had asuras, you also had divas, even some gorillas, which were the total enemies of the dragons. Well, Taylor was invited, but she was in Japan, so she so they all came and had this big blowout party for a wedding for Elvis and Beyonce. Oh, and oh my gosh, it was so much to eat, you guys. It was pizza and pasta, dumplings, longevity noodles, candy, cotton candy, s'mores, yes, cake. And Elvis ate it all. And so the next day at breakfast, after all of this eating, Elvis looked at Beyonce and he said, "I have a hunk of burning heartburn. I really need to go somewhere. I need a Upasapades bag." And she said, "Yeah, you do. So he planned an Upasapades. So the thing about Elvis, because it was so much singing and dancing in the dragon world in the celestial kingdom, he liked to come to Earth with the humans to do his Upasapades because it was a little quieter. And Beyonce was like, "That's really scary. Those people are scary. They do mean things. And so I don't know whether I want you to go down there." Elvis said, "No, I need to for my own spiritual growth and peace of mind. I'm just going to sit by myself But you know what? We had a pool out back. They had not a swimming pool, like a little pond thing. And so he said, all right, if this pond stays calm, I'm okay. If this pond gets like lots of waves, it means someone's hit. If this pond totally dries up, it means a gorilla has taken it. If this pond turns blood red, that means a human has taken it. So she was like, all right, that's cool. I can live with that. I can live with that as long as I can go out and look at the pond. So Elvis goes down to earth. He sat under a tree that was exactly like the tree at Peace Camp, that big tree that we have. He just really sat there and he coiled up his big wings and he just went under it and he was studying a text called The Way of the Bodhisattva because he wanted to, in his next lifetime, be closer to the Bodhisattva Buddha. So he was studying the scriptural text. He was doing meditation. He was doing all the things you do in a Vipassana retreat. And he was lying there really intensely meditating, and someone walked by. And he saw it out of the corner of his eye. And this person walked by. He's like, dragon. Oh, well, that actually changes my day completely. This person's name was Devadatta. So Devadatta was one of these guys. How do I explain? He had a really pasty kind of gray complexion. He was bald, but you couldn't tell whether he was bald because he wanted to pretend to be a monk or whether he was bald because he was just losing his hair anyway and he didn't want to do the comb over thing. So anyway, he was bald. And so he kind of had this snarl, a natural snarl. But he looked at Elvis and he was like, I could use this dragon in my circus. He owned a circus. And he was like, this could be a very good act in my circus. And he had these herbs with him. And these herbs created, when he put them in his mouth and made a spittle, he spit it at Elvis. It burned into Elvis's scales. It just burned up. He shoots him off. And he put something into Elvis's neck so that then Elvis became immobilized. He couldn't move. But you know what? Elvis still could have incinerated Devadatta, but he did not. And you know why? Because he was following the precepts and he didn't want to hurt Devadatta. And he was following the way of the Bodhisattva, so he really didn't want to hurt Devadatta. And he's a very good dragon who followed the precepts. So he let Devadatta burn him. Then Devadatta stooped some more and he spit it in his mouth. So Elvis's mouth just was on fire. It was just horrible. And so then Devadatta had his evil henchmen come and wrap him up. And so Elvis, he just incinerated all of them, but he didn't. Instead, he let himself, he's boxed up, put in a big wooden box, and carried to Devadatta's circus. And Devadatta, the first night he had Elvis, everyone was amazed. All the people who came to the circus were like, holy crap, there is a dragon flying around. And that dragon spewing fire. And then that dragon singing. Oh my God, this is incredible. So news went far and wide. And Devadatta was a fortune for Elvis. Everybody wanted to go see Elvis. And in fact, Devadatta's the manager got a call. Hello, this is the office of Governor Gretchen Whitmer. The governor would like to see this new party we've all heard about. It was in live that you have a dragon. And that dragon is spewing fire and just singing beautifully. The governor would like to host an event at the governor's mansion in Lansing. We'd like to invite you all. Devadatta was like, let me check my calendar. Let me see. I'm very, very busy man. Oh, that works fine. Let's do that. So they came to the governor's mansion. Huge event. They even had people there from Ohio. So then Elvis comes out, the main actor. Gretchen Whitmer's there. And Elvis is flying all over, spewing fire everywhere. Oh, and he sings his song. And it's the song that is the theme of his study with the way of the Bodhisattva. And the song is, are you ready? Are you ready for this song? One for the money, two for the shoe, three to get ready. Let's go, cat, go. Don't you step on my big green tail. You can do everything. You don't step on my big green tail. You can push me down, sit on my face, slander my name all over the place. You can do anything that you want to do, but honey, don't step on my big green tail. Don't step on my big green tail. You can do anything, but don't step on my big green tail. You can burn my house, steal my car. You can eat my candy and my chocolate bar. You can do anything that you want to do, but honey, stay off of my big green tail. Off of my big green tail. You can do anything, but don't step on my big green tail. It's one for the money, two for the show, three to get ready. Let's go, cat, go. You step on my big green tail. Well, the crowd was going wild. There were like women there with scarves, and they were just waving the scarves. People with phones that are like, oh, not only taking pictures, but wanting to commemorate it forever. Meanwhile, back in the Celestial Kingdom, Beyonce's like, it hasn't been 2 weeks. Where is this man of mine? This dragon. So she went out to the pool. Full of blood. So she knew she had to do something. She knew the kid. So she, flying down from her celestial kingdom, like took the envision of the human. So she walked through the crowd, and she sees Elvis doing this song. She sees him rising up, and she went up to Governor Gretchen Whitmer and said, "Governor Gretchen Whitmer, my husband, this dragon, has been kidnapped." Gretchen Whitmer was like, "Excuse me." So Beyonce became a dragon, and she showed herself. And then Elvis saw Beyonce, and Elvis was ashamed. He was ashamed that he'd done that, even though he was trying to follow the precepts. So he looked like this, and he covered himself with his big wings, and he felt really bad because he didn't know what to do. He didn't want to kill the people, but he also knew that he was being kidnapped. And so he was so happy that Beyonce came down, and Beyonce went over and gave him a big dragon hug. And they both went to see Governor Gretchen Whitmer and told her the whole story about the kidnapping. And Governor Gretchen Whitmer said, "Find this man." And so Devadatta's evil henchmen, and they were like helping out now. They didn't want to be incriminated in this, so they helped them to find Devadatta. Devadatta then spent many years in jail.
How many?
Well, I would think
35?
it'd be close to a life sentence. Yeah.
So,
So then Dr. Gretchen Whitmer invited the two inside the tea, and they became beautiful, radiant human forms because they couldn't fit inside in their dragon shape. So they had tea, and they invited Governor Gretchen Whitmer up to the Celestial Kingdom. And she's like, "Heck yes, I want to go." So she goes up to the Celestial Kingdom with them. And I'm telling you, when I say beautiful there, it's sunny every day, unlike Michigan. It is gold everywhere. You have golden chairs, golden tables, palm trees that are beautiful and vibrant, and other kinds of trees, and just the sky is beautiful every day. And oh my gosh, Gretchen Whitmer was like, "I don't understand why you come down here when you have so much up there. Why do you stay what?" Wow. Okay. I think that's true. What about you guys? I think that's a good point. Yeah, I think all of yes.
I think because if you have white down there, it's easier to let it. I just think he wants to fill in the pool.
Oh, so the pool, that's a good guess too. All these are good guesses. essence, well, I think you're onto something that he knew, Elvis knew that at some point in like a future, he couldn't even understand at that point, that he would be wanting to continue to work on himself and work on his spiritual practice and his meditation. And so he had that in his future, that he thought he would do that. So he kept coming down, as did Beyonce. They both went down for retreats, but they always had this pool going on, so that they looked not every 2 weeks, but every day, so that they could rescue each other. And so then, at the end of this story, what I like to think about is the Buddha himself. The Buddha himself had this big, big porch outside of a turret, so he could look at all of the world. And it's said that he had this wisdom eye that he could see everyone. So I like to think Buddha, at that point during his lifetime, was looking out, feeling such loving kindness to every creature on earth. Then he closed his eyes and started tapping his foot and said, "A bird in love, a bird in love, I got a bird in love, a bird in love for all his people." That's it. Outside of all questions, you have you want this to do. The first thing you're going to do is just sing a dragon song. Do you know something amazing? You want to hear something amazing?
Yeah.
I just seen the dream. And in that dream, we were singing Puff the Magic Dragon. So, true story. I have a couple volunteers to pass out these lyrics. All right. So, but every other person, we don't have enough for everybody. Every other person.
Wait, there's 2 people.
You don't have to. Yeah, no, go to the back. What do you go around with it? You take it out. Yeah, you want to. Yeah, the back goes right in, you guys. Guys, the back row back here has me. Over here. Oh, you're going. This is a song that most of you know. I'm going to ask Saram and Dr. to lead us. All right,
I think I remember the lyrics. Oh, okay, and I don't have my glasses either. Cool. Thank you.
Let's all share. This is a hat. Okay. Ready? Let's go. Let's sing. The magic dragons live by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Harmony. Little Jackie Paper loved that rascal Puff and brought him strings and sealing wax and other fancy stuff. Oh, Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Oh, Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. There they would travel on a boat with billowed sails, and Jackie kept a lookout perched on Puff's gigantic tail. Noble kings and princes would bow whenever they came,
Pirate ships would lower their flag when Puff roared out his name. Oh, Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Oh, Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. A dragon lived forever, but not so little girls, little boys. Painted wings and giant rings make way for other toys. One great night it happened, Jackie Paper came no more. And Puff, that mighty dragon, he ceased his fearless roar. His head was bent in sorrow, his scales fell like rain. Puff no longer went to play along the cherry lane. Without his lifelong friend, Puff could not be brave. So Puff, that mighty dragon, sadly slipped into his cave. Oh, Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Oh, Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Thank you for
Very good. Before we go, there is, you've seen this beautiful thing that Sarang has, the dragon. You have pictures out there. Hold it up. Yeah, so for crafts today, we're going to be making dragons, all you little dragons. And so that's a craft. So you guys, anyone who wants to make a dragon, go into the conference room in the Sangha house. If you guys want to stay out and play football, you can do that outside. If you are a teenager, come with me and Kimchi, and we're going to go up to the third floor of the Sangha house. And very importantly, attention, in the historic temple in the library, parents, follow Mosamsam. Mosamsam, raise your hand. Okay, so follow Mosamsam if you're a parent, and then we'll all meet together, including all of you Buddhas who are going to stay and meditate in the backyard for s'mores and hot chocolate at 11:30. Let's chant Mother on your way back.
some questions of that spirit, so I'd like to go with some languages. Seems like okay, there's some fencing going on.
So please now just step down.
But look around. Important to help us people face resources to help the means to sometimes instead of having a question, flat like this, on its head,